Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Batholkus, and this is another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this is The Witcher, Netflix's The Witcher. Welcome, everybody. Um, so, like I said in the description of this video, I'm going to do a non spoiler review first. It's going to be very brief, and then I'm going to go into the spoiler review. And when I pull up the paddle, you'll know what it is. Excuse me. My throat's still a little bit on the fried side there. So let me get a little business out of the way first. If you like what you see here, hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe down there. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, at the very end of this video, you're going to see a video pop up here. Basically, what YouTube does, it takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and matches it as best as possible to one video in my vast video library. Up here is going to be the contest for Mr. Robot. That's what that's going to be up there. There we go. Um, Good idea, Dennis. Nice to know you still have them. Yeah, I, you know, am awake every now and then. So yeah. And Dennis the untrollable. No, no, I've been trolled before, Morks. I just know, you're supposed to shoot for the head. That's what you're supposed to do when you go for the trolls. So also, excuse me. Um, my schedule is up on suspendedfanimation.com. It's also on my Facebook page as well. Speaking of Facebook, if you have it, there is a Facebook group chat which you guys can post stuff on and talk amongst yourselves. Also, I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, and I have a Patreon page. I don't know any tiers set up as of yet, but I will at the beginning of the year. There we go. So the spoiler-free review for The Witcher. Is it worth my time? Yes, it is actually. So it is a fantasy show based on a book, which also spawned a video game, or video games, I should say. And it's kind of like for those of you not initiated in that world, it's fantasy, so it is kind of like you've got Dungeons and Dragons type of monsters and characters as well. You have mages, you have kingdoms, all that kind of stuff. At first, it might seem funky the way things are, uh, how they show the show without giving any spoilers away. There is a method to the madness. Stick with it. It actually makes sense. That's all I'm going to say. So let's go ahead and do spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I am going to spoil the shit out of this series. If you have not seen it, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Thank you, Viking Bitch, for the paddle. So, to go into the spoiler reviews, yes, it is worth your time. Um, a lot of people had problems with the timeline in this. So the timeline, it's shown in actually four different timelines, and it makes sense from the story wise because they're trying to fill in the backstory. This whole first season is a world building thing as to why Geralt is doing this stuff. Why, what's happening to him, what kind of quest he's going to be on, and where this is all going to be at. And so you go back to almost like I guess 30 years, 40 years, something like that. And then you kind of move up to their present day as well. But all these timelines converge. It might not seem like it's doing it well, but they actually did do a good job of it. Yes, it was confusing at first, but it does make sense. So stick with it. They actually did a really good job of it. I was kind of surprised because at first I was going, I don't know if I like this either. And then I was like, oh, okay, I get what they're doing. That actually makes kind of sense and it's kind of cool. And they did a good job. My standout character in this one is Yennefer. So Yennefer, one of the mages who, she had a hunchback and a draw that was off to the side and, a club foot and all that kind of stuff. And of course, through magic ends up becoming this beautiful woman and also a magic user, chaos user, that kind of thing. And also Jaskier, who is the minstrel, if you will, who is uh selling the Witcher. off, basically through song to everyone, so the Witcher will get hired because, of course, he wants 10% of the profits for promoting The Witcher out there. Yeah, I agree with you, Stanley Tweedle. She later says that she had no choice but the fertility, which, yeah, because he asks her twice before she goes through the change. He says, this is not going to be reversible. Basically, that's the choice you make for becoming who you are, is we take away your ability to procreate. And she's like, yes, do it. And he goes, are you sure? And she goes, yes, do it. And he basically, makes her sterile. This is what happens. And then she says later on that, she had no choice in the matter. And it's like, no, you actually forced him to do this, which they weren't going to do this to you anyway. And yeah, so Applecrow says mixed timelines can be done very badly, but this they did well, and it was used to highlight important aspects of the story. Yeah, exactly. Excuse me. I like to uh, invoke law of surprise on that, which I thought was kind of interesting. Law of surprise. So, if you save someone's life and they basically don't have the money to pay you, or you can ask for law of surprise. So, law of surprise being, um, you lay claim to something which is theirs that they don't know that they possess at the time. So it could be a puppy, it could be a fortune, it could be anything. And the twice that it's law of surprise is actually called in this. I thought it was funny that both happen to be pregnancies. And so yeah, they both won children out of this whole thing. It's a crapshoot, but yeah, and then also destiny is a real thing in this as well. I was thinking of the Tick for some reason whenever they kept mentioning destiny, that destiny is a bitch, you know? And if you ignore destiny, you end up having to regret it because destiny will come back and bite you in the ass pretty damn hard. So yeah. Viking Bitch says, I can see her regretting the decision, but yes, she had a choice. Apparently the no choice thing was in the books, but not explained in the show. Yeah. I haven't read the books. I have not played the video games, any of that. I came into this uh, virgin, if you will. Um, I don't want any jokes from you, Movie Fanobi. I know you've already got them and you've got them lined up, and just don't hit the send button. That's all I'm going to say. Um, yeah, there's a drinking game about how many times they say destiny. Yeah, there is. There really is a drinking game. You will be drunk in one episode by at least 5 minutes in. I think they mention it 20 times. But yeah. And no, this is not brought to you, by the way, by Topo Topo Chico. It's not this episode. It's just what I happen to be drinking at the time, which is mineral water to help my throat. There we go. Movie Fanobi says, my mom did say you were inexperienced. Uh-huh. Right. Isn't that a stripper name? No, you're thinking of Cristal, Stanley Tweedle. Destiny is usually the name of I think the club that they're working at is it's called Destiny. Or has Destiny in the title of it anyway. Applecrow says, I've played the games but haven't read the books. You have to be a hardcore PC gamer to get through the first two. They are not well balanced. 3 is amazing. Eh. Oh, that's right. I heard number 3 was actually pretty good. Applecrow says, Hank's not ready for a Destiny. He should start with a Pam or a Pammy. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, good stuff. They've got monsters in it too. I still want to know how the original mage who Geralt bumps into in the beginning, in the first couple episodes, what kind of role he plays, because he's the one that was slaughtering all the girls that were born under the eclipse, and there's something about him that's off. I don't know exactly what it is, uh, but I don't know for sure. The queen, I don't know. Queen Calanthe, is that her name? Yeah. She kind of pissed me off, to tell you the truth. she kept waffling on everything. She'd go back and forth so many times that she was like a metronome. That's how much she was, waffling back and forth. Viking Mitch says this did remind me of a really good D&D game. Yeah, yeah. All that was missing was a guardian. I mean, we had dragons in it. We had a green dragon, we had a gold dragon. Um, we got to see a little bit of The Witcher's past as a child, and that his mom. We still don't know exactly. Did his mom give him up to become a Witcher? Was he sold off? Was he just kind of abandoned? What exactly happened there? I'm pretty sure what we're gonna find out was that when he went off to go get the water, that she was kidnapped or killed or something like that, and ran off, and that's how he became by himself on the road. Apple Crow says it's not a D&D game because there wasn't an edge lord. Try a Tredge Lord, an edge lord elfling. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Andrej Merrick says Witcher 3 is one of the best RPG experiences one can get on a computer. Oh, interesting. Viking Bitch says, I gotta say, I really like Henry Cavill in this show. He did, yeah. So Henry Cavill does a great job in this, but I have to say, I really loved. His name's Matey, I believe. Let me see. I've got his stuff here. Yeah, Joey Beatty. Joey Beatty is his name. Who played Jasker? Jasker for some reason just made me fucking laugh. He really did. I know he's supposed to be the comic relief, but that whole episode with him um, hiring on Geralt as a bodyguard because of all the different women that he screwed, all the different wives that he has screwed, and he needs protection from their husbands going to that party. That fucking made me laugh. It really did. Hey Joe. Viking Missile, I saw a tweet today that Henry was so buff he kept ruining his leather armor and they had to keep replacing it. Nice. Applecrow says, I've been considering writing an editorial titled Your Tiefling is Boring. Okay. I don't know what a Tiefling is. Sorry, I don't know what that is, Applecrow. I'm not that much of a nerd, so I'm kidding. I am a nerd, but I just don't know what that word means. That's all. Oh man. Uh oh, do we have somebody new that came in? Keith Hamilton. Hey, there we go. Keith Hamilton says, I didn't like Siri. She just seemed to go from one peril to the next. Hopefully she grows. And yeah, so she is the MacGuffin, the Deus ex machina, if you will, and the weak point of the Witcher's what's going on with the Witcher there. So oh, it's a eunuch? Is that what it is? Maybe why don't you say eunuch then? Easier to say. Yeah. Feisty fan. Hey, Dennis sucks, throws rocks at him. Thanks. Man. Stranger danger, stranger danger. Exactly. So yeah. Um good stuff. Um I did like how the timelines converged. Yennefer, as played by, and I can't remember her name all of a sudden. Anya Chalatra is her name. And I believe she's only like 19 years old, something like that, 18, 19 years old. And she fucking did a phenomenal job in this. I haven't seen her in anything else. I know she has been doing some work on the British side, on the other side of the pond, but damn, she just did a really, really good job. And I'm not saying that just because she was naked a lot in this thing. No, she actually did a really good job. The whole thing with her jaw being out of alignment at the beginning and acting like that, and I don't know if that was CGI'd or if she actually was doing that herself or what, but fuck, man, that was actually good. That with the hunch and everything, and yeah. and her whole story and everything, up until the point that she starts saying she didn't have a choice in the matter, and it's like, yeah, actually you did. You did have a choice in that matter, and you basically were pissed, and you said, "You know what? Go with it anyway." Apple Crow says, "I like that the nudity was almost casual and fit what was happening. It wasn't gratuitous." Yeah, exactly. Except for the sex scenes, there was, the orgy scenes. There was a couple of those, which I was okay with. I'm, yeah, when Jasker is, gasping for breath from the Djinn who, fucks up his throat and the orgy's happening in and the naked girl is pretty much on top of him, and he's conflicted. You can see it in his eyes. He's conflicted as he wants to have sex with her, but at the same time, he's choking to death and doesn't know if he's gonna survive it. And I thought that was pretty fucking funny. Yeah. Yeah, I don't need to see that, Apple Crow. If you're into that, to each their own. Cheers. I don't know if they used a butt double or not for that either, which honestly, I don't care. So most male actors won't go for that. Yeah, true. Stanley Tweedle says Dennis can get away with being a fake geek because, oh, thanks, Stanley. I'm not a fake geek, as far as you know. Uh, but that first sword fight, yeah, the first sword fight, yeah, I have to admit, Feisty, that was actually pretty good. Where he comes in and just basically rips through those guys. Excuse me. Yeah, I believe that was all him in that as well, Mufinobi. Yeah, the Butcher of Blaviken. That's right. Apple Crow says that's another discussion. I think male nudity is more hilarious or sad. Um, so funny aside and completely off topic, but Life of Brian, the Monty Python movie, has male nudity in it. Graham Chapman opens up the windows, the shutters to the windows of his house, and he is butt naked to everyone, and they show his dick and everything. That movie, because it was released, I believe, in like 80 or 81, if I'm not mistaken, they were gonna give it an X rating because of that scene, because of his dick being in it. Yeah. They didn't care about the breasts or the other nudity or anything like that, if there was any of that in there, but, that's the Life of Brian, Joe Greer. Yeah. Well, we Swadwick. She's wow, Feisty, yeah, is hardcore. She's binged The Witcher 3 times now. Yeah. Yes, they do call it, Full Frontal, Joe Greer. They also call it the Full Monty, the Pickle Shot. What else is it called? Releasing the Kraken. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it. I think those are the few names of that so far. Also, Mandy had a sad, funny male nudity scene. Oh, that's the, Nicolas Cage movie? Yeah, that's fine. You like that one, Viking Mitch, the Release the Kraken? The one-eyed wonder weasel? No, that's the, yeah, the one-eyed trouser snake is what I believe they call it in Great Britain. Yes. Or used to back in the day. Andres Merrick says Watchmen had some male nudity if you're into blue dongs. Yeah, that was, and that was the whole thing. They were kind of making fun of it to begin with about Dr. Manhattan, and they go with it and they kind of lean into it pretty hard, no pun intended. And I was just like, yeah, I didn't need to see that. Really didn't need to. You know, I was good without having to see all that. So, not enough eel nudity. There was some eel nudity in there for you, movie Finobi. Yeah. Um, there were Are you saying that I did a dick joke, Feisty? You obviously haven't watched my Titans reviews. They're nothing but dick jokes, really they are. Uh, that's pretty much the only reason why I do Titan reviews is because of the dick jokes. Yes. There are many, many, many dick jokes in Titans. Uh, did you dong Watchmen a couple of stars for that? Oh, good lord, Apple Crow. Did you have to really work on that one? Because I think you need to workshop that one a little bit more. Come on back in a couple of weeks and see if what you do with that workshopping on that one, because that needs to be workshopped quite a bit more. Andres Merrick says, that is one thing that was not really explained. Do the eels act purely as batter and slowly get spent? So they need to go through pupils to keep. Yeah, that was the other thing, too. Because when Yennefer comes back, what is it, like 30, 40 years later, something like that? Her old classmate, I guess, if you will, who had been turned into an eel, is still in there. And she's actually surprised that she's still there. Battery, yes, batter. Sorry, I said I read it as it was, batter, but yes, battery is what you meant. Um, yeah, they didn't really explain that, why they kept needing to add more batteries to the fountain there. Did they get spent, all that kind of stuff, or do they run down and needed a recharge, or they didn't really say that too much. Maybe if they fed them something, they would last a bit longer, but I don't know. Not in the books? Okay. Joker says, "Did you like the animation movies of the 1980s like Heavy Metal and" yes, I did. I love Heavy Metal. Heavy Metal's a great movie. It really is. And also, what is the Ralph Bashki one? Wizards. Well, Fritz the Cat was 70s too. What else was there? There's a lot of animated movies. Watership Down, which you should never let kids fucking watch. That is not a kids movie unless you want to scar them for life, like most of us in the 80s were when our parents took us to see, Watership Down. And then we're like, hey, look, it's rabbits. You like rabbits, right? Fuck. Viking Bitch says, I am wondering if it was a way to get rid of the students they couldn't promote so they can't share the secrets. Um, well, no, she said that what is she said? She said the teacher was saying that they can harness chaos, but they can never become full mages. They were kind of batteries, if you will. And so that's the reason why they turned them into the eels and shoved them in. Because she said they always needed that's actually what the hall ran on, was the students that weren't able to ascend. There were always some that were going to ascend and some that were just gonna become eels. Yeah. Viking Mitch says, "I remember Wizards, the fairy with the permanently erect nip." Yeah. Everyone kinda remembers that for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, Ralph Bashki was just a weird, well, he still is a weird motherfucker. Actually, is he dead now? I think he's still alive. I can't remember offhand. Yeah. VB Hamill is one of the, oh yeah, he was one of the fairies. That's right. Mark Hamill was one of the fairies in Wizards. Andres Merrick says, also, why do they conjure the fireballs to throw with a trebuchet if a dumb rock would work the same and they could save some magi? Because the fireballs were much more destructive than a rock. If you saw the explosion um when they got diverted, the thing basically was the size of the castle that they were hurling it at. So giving up one of the mages' lives to possibly take out that entire castle was worth it, especially since they were going by surprise at that point. Yeah. So I could see why they were doing it. Andres Merrick says, "Yeah, but they're just testing if they have mages to defend against the siege." Well, no, they started off as a surprise attack, and then yes, they did shoot the first one as a test, and saw it diverted, and saw that she was having some problems diverting it, so that's why she sent the second one. Well, also she probably didn't like the woman anyway either. Sent it out. Mo Finobi says the vibrations from Dennis's headphones to no, my nipples are not permanently erect, even though they might seem that way. They're just perky. There you go, Mo Finobi. Stanley Tweedle says the Sodden battle was also really not really in the books, only mentioned in passing. Oh, okay. Yeah, there was some brutal stuff in there too. I mean, uh, there was some gore in it too, which was good. They had a little bit of everything for everybody in there. Yeah. Joker says, "Did you ever see the Frank Frazetta in the 1980s when he used to play?" No, I did not. I did not. The whole Striga, yeah, the Striga episode was good. That was a good one. Uh, and you see a lot of the women in this show get screwed over quite a bit with some of the stuff. Not as much as the men. I mean, I should say they get screwed over more so than the men. The men actually don't suffer as much as the women do in this whole series, which is kind of fucked up, really. Yeah. Andres Rank says one thing that bothered me severely was how the keep of Sodden was built. It was guarding a bridge, but from the wrong side. They should have built it on both sides and simply tear down the bridge. Yeah. so so yeah, good stuff, and definitely worth your time to watch, and have at it. So I am gonna do another Is It Worth My Time for Lost in Space season 2. Season 2 of Lost in Space is out on Netflix as well. It dropped on Christmas Eve, like a couple of days after The Witcher, and I've burned through that already. So I will give you my take on that one too. Excuse me. So if you like what you see here, hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe, as we say here. Also, if you want to know when I'm gonna be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below, but it's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you, as most of you find out. Um, Best way of doing it is going to suspendedfanimation.com, where I have my schedule up. I change it out every Monday. I was a bit late today on changing it out because I'm off today. So, yeah, and it just took me a little while to get through it. Also, it's on my Facebook page as well. You can see it there. Movie for Nobody says, sort of off topic. Dennis's Dresden Files reboot still in development. Who knows? They've been talking about that one for God since the original one went off the air and on Sci-Fi after the first season. And they always, nope, it's coming back. Nope, it's not. It's coming back. Nope, it's not. No, it's coming back. Who knows where it's at now? Yeah. Andrej Merrick says lots of books, but they can use material from the games maybe before having to come up with new stuff. I think this should be good. Apple Crow says also off topic. Saw Ad Astra last night. Not worth your time. Yeah, I've heard nothing but horrible things about Ad Astra. Apple Crow. I really have. I saw Detective Pikachu on Saturday, and that was kind of fun. I was wondering how they were going to do that, and it's actually not bad. Yeah. Movie Finobi says last articles were fall 2018. Wasn't sure. There were so many books. Yeah. Yeah. Um, what I would like to see get made into a series, and it's kind of similar to Dresden Files, but actually better, is all I'm gonna say, is the Sandman Slim series. If you haven't read Sandman Slim, check it out. I think there's like 9 books in the series now, and it's basically about a guy who was a, magician. He actually practiced real magic with a coven, if you will, or a group of magicians, and he ends up getting sent to hell. And, he comes back from hell, to avenge the people that sent him there, of course. And, he's still human, but he's picked up some powers and whatnot. And, he becomes a private detective for the damned kind of thing. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. I've gone through about like 5 or 7 books. I can't remember now at this point. And, that has always been rumored to being made into a movie or a TV series. I don't know which, but that's actually pretty good too. And also, Savage Membrane by Steve Niles, which is right up here in my back shelf here, is also it's a Cal McDonald, story, and that's also a good story as well, which, could really be turned into a good TV series. It really could be turned into an awesome TV series. It was a comic book for a while, so called the Cal McDonald, Mysteries or Stories. I can't remember what it was, but yeah. Alright. So you guys are all talking about everything else except, you know, this. So I take it it's over. Yes, I'm gonna have The Expanse is gonna be happening tomorrow. That's at 9 AM. So I'm doing another episode of The Expanse. And I'm gonna be off on Wednesday and Thursday. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna be off Wednesday and Thursday and come back on Friday for Harley Quinn first, and then I'm going to be doing the Mandalorian contest results. Is what's going on there. Saturday is going to be Saturday morning blast off, where I take the genre news of the week and any other genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and do that. Sunday I'm off, and I believe Monday we're going to roll back around again with "Is It Worth Your Time?" and that's going to be Lost in Space. Yeah. And hopefully I get people calling me, sending me some emails with their addresses for the stuff that they want from, Mr. Robot there. And hopefully the same thing happens with the Mandalorian that people actually send me their fucking addresses so I can send them the stuff that they've won. This is the worst part about this is, getting people to actually send me their addresses so I can send free stuff out to them. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. See what I mean? Yeah. Because otherwise what I have to do is I actually saved the list of people because that was a fuck ton of people to actually, copy and paste in there. And I'm gonna take out the 4 if they don't get back to me, and then I'm gonna rerun it again and see what I get if I don't hear anything from any of them. So 198 to go, by the way. Yes, I know, Andrej Merrick. Yes, I know. A little over 800 people have subscribed. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. Very awesome. Thank you guys who joined me tonight in the chat. It's a lot of regulars tonight in the chat. I know that. There might be some lurkers in there too, but hopefully you guys feel free to chime on in. A lot of these people, they know each other already. They've been here for, a year and more because of where I was in other places. And, you know, it'd be nice to actually have some fresh blood in here. I mean, Feisty's here, which is rare. I mean, but it's good to have her in here. The channel that must not be named. Exactly. They have enough subscribers as it is. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence, again, take a look at the very end. You're going to see a video up here. Also, check out the video that's going to be up here, which is going to be the contest results for Mr. Robot. And I've graced you with my presence. Thank you, Feisty fan. She is yeah, whatever. Yeah, that is that was Latin for I bless you with my presence. I think that's what it was. Dennis doesn't want any. I want us old folks anymore. I did not say that. I said I want some fresh blood in here because uh, I need to bathe in something. Keep my good looks. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow for The Expanse. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you're gonna have to toss a coin to that Witcher because no one else is going to get rid of those monsters. Thanks, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night.